So here we are. I've been thinking about the story for quite some time now. Barack Obama, not long ago, actually went on stage at some women's convention or something like that. It was something to do with the Obama Foundation. It was in Singapore. I tried watching it a little bit. It's about an hour and a half long, and boy, was it annoying. First of all, he doesn't necessarily say the truth when it comes to most things. There was one part of it where he actually went on to tell the audience that the U.S., or we, have the largest carbon footprint. And you know that's not true. So he's just not being truthful here. However, let's see, I believe this was first reported by the BBC when he actually said this. Going down here, this was one of his quotes, according to the BBC. If women ran every country in the world, there would be a general improvement in living standards and outcomes, former President Barack Obama has said. Speaking in Singapore, he said women aren't perfect, but they are indisputably better than men. Whew. Wow, indisputed. Does he really believe this? You guys think he believes his own excrement? I don't. I think he was just there making money, and he wanted to collect more, so he thought he'd lie a little bit. Again, I tried watching part of this show. It's about an hour and a half long, and I couldn't bear it. I mean, there is just so many times. I forgot how bad he actually really is at speeches. There were so many ums and ums and I thought about putting a little collage of how many times he did it, but I couldn't make it. I don't have the patience for it. Maybe one of you guys do. It was horrible. It was bad. But getting back to the story, he said most of the problems in the world come from old people, mostly men, holding on to positions of power. Oh. He also spoke about how political partisan and the use of social media have spread falsehoods. He himself is sitting up there spreading falsehoods while claiming other people are spreading falsehoods. Man, this guy. Speaking at a private event on leadership, Mr. Obama said while in office, he had mused what a world run by women would look like. Well, he sure didn't give him a chance, right? He had a female or a woman running against him. In the beginning, he never gave her a chance. As a matter of fact, he kept telling us how bad she would be for us. Now, he's sitting here saying that he actually thought about this stuff while in office. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you his cabinet. I went through here and I counted 1, 2. I don't know what that is. Is that 3? Yeah, 3, 4 women. Pretty much mostly men. Well, if he really believed what he's saying, wouldn't he have gotten more women in his cabinet? It's a crazy world we live in, folks. So rather than continuing to read this BBC whatever, I decided we were going to see what was the real problem, or what the real problem is. Is it men or is it power? So I started thinking over the last 3 weeks, why every time they come into power, they become corrupt. Do they become corrupt more often than men? I don't know. You be the judge. Maybe we can figure that out. But here we have one story. Florida teaching assistant accused of selling fentanyl to teen who overdosed. She doesn't seem like she could be a great leader. A Florida elementary school teacher assistant has been busted on heroin charges after she was accused of selling drugs to a teenager who later overdosed and died. Woman in power. Taking advantage, destroying a life. Number 2, Louisiana teacher allegedly had sex with teen while own child was home. This was actually just in February. Another case of a woman in power not being a great leader. A Louisiana middle school teacher is accused of having sex multiple times with a 15-year-old student at her home. While her child was also in the residence, authorities said. I won't go on to read the whole thing because I have a few more of these, but another person in power. Now, you and I both know the education system is just filled with Democratic individuals or Democrat individuals. How much would you bet that this individual here was a Democrat? Well, here we have another one. Florida teacher tries to get 8 ball of meth delivered at school. Wow, that's just insane. A Florida teacher, how does this always happen in Florida? A Florida teacher has been busted for trying to get drugs delivered to her while she taught at elementary school. At elementary school, ouch. According to authorities, first grade teacher Valerie Lee Prince, 43, called a dealer to bring. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but this is pretty funny. Called a dealer to bring her an 8 ball of meth at the Jacksonville Heights Elementary School, saying she was willing to abandon her class to collect it. Doesn't seem like a great leader to me, Mr. Obama. Well, let's see another story here. Substitute teacher fired after video shows her punching student in Texas. Whew, does not seem like a great leader. A Texas substitute teacher is accused of assault after a viral cell phone video shows her allegedly beating a student at Lehman High School. The community is wanting answers. The video, which I actually watched it, I don't know if she should have gotten in trouble for that. It looked more like self-defense to me, but let's continue with the story. The Hays County Sheriff, Hays, I believe that is mostly around Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. The Hays County Sheriff Office identified the substitute teacher as 32-year-old Tiffany Lanford. Tiffany. Shame, shame, shame. I thought you were a good leader. Here we have another story. Oh, you guys are familiar with this one, right? First lawmaker to trigger a new Me Too era conduct rules, a female freshman. Well, this one here was interesting. In case you guys don't remember this story, her name was Katie Hill, a California Democrat in Congress, who allegedly, I'll say allegedly, used her power to actually make her assistant do some sexual stuff for her. Not only just one assistant, but apparently there were several. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yes, she had to step down because we were in the height of the Me Too movement. And she wasn't a nice person. Let's just see here. She was accused by her husband amid a rancorous divorce proceeding of having a relationship with Graham Kelly, her legislative director. She was actually married as well. Wow. Mr. Obama, she doesn't seem like a good leader. Here we have a very interesting story that happened not too long ago. In December, woman accused of beating teen boy, introducing him to drugs and dealing lifestyle. This story was actually pretty sad. So apparently, this woman here forced or kind of raped a boy and then forced him to sell drugs. She was basically pimping him. Doesn't seem like a good leader. A Florida woman allegedly had sex with teen boy and exposed him to her gangster lifestyle, asking him to peddle drugs and keeping him in a house that was targeted in a drive-by shooting. Whew. A report said. The suspect, 22-year-old, well, here we go. She seems to be ethnic. Allegedly slept with a boy who is now 15 a number of times when he was 14 years old, CBS Miami reported. She also recorded on several occasions when she sexually abused a boy, according to the report. Damn. Investigators believe Karazana also texted the boy several times and instructed him to sell drugs for another person she was involved with. The report said she was also with the boy in her southwest Miami home when a rival gang member carried out drive-by shooting at the home. Man, it's crazy. Mr. Obama, she doesn't seem like a good leader. Here's what I think. I think power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. We've heard that one before. I don't think all women are bad. I don't think all men are bad. I think there are people who can handle power, and I think there are people who cannot handle power. A lot of people are selfish. A lot of people just want to make money. They don't care who they step on. Not everybody cares. The next story, we have another person from the Democratic Party who apparently did some really bad things. 6 women of color left Democratic presidential candidate Senator Elizabeth Warren's Nevada team after complaints of racial insensitivity within the campaign, Politico reports Thursday. That's right, folks. We have Mrs. Elizabeth Warren, who is apparently accused of being a bad leader. The departures have happened over the course of several months, starting in November, according to the news outlet. Nevada is known for its large Latino population in contrast to other early primary states like Iowa and New Hampshire. The Nevada primary takes place February 22nd, a week before Super Tuesday, March 3rd. The staffers who left the 70-person operation in the battleground state reportedly complained that they felt tokenized by the campaign because of their race. Interesting. Here we have a person of power, a female who claims she cares about the little person, about the minorities. And it looks like she's tokenizing the minorities. One staffer told Politico they felt like they were there to literally bring color into the space, but not the knowledge with the voice that comes with it. Whew. That is quite an accusation right there. So I have to end that one there. It's pretty depressing. We have one more. Ohio superintendent gets max sentence for sexually assaulting 2 students. Another female in power destroying lives. A former Ohio school superintendent was sentenced to 10 years. You rarely see that happening. Was sentenced to 10 years in prison for sexually assaulting 2 students when she was a high school principal. Oh, not just power, but the highest power in high school. According to reports, Laura Amaro, who was the head of Wyndham Exempted Village Schools from 2015 to 2017, received a maximum sentence. 2 years? She did all that in 2 years? Received a maximum sentence under the state law on Monday after the judge dismissed the disgraced educator's claim that the mental health issues were to blame for her actions. It's never their fault. It's never their fault. Don't you believe him, Judge? It's never their fault. She's a woman. She deserves a break. No, she doesn't. She did what she did. And Mr. Obama, again, was wrong. Again, just to kind of wrap up here, I went through some of the video. I couldn't deal with it. There were so many falsehoods, if you will, and so many things that were just wrong. He was just pandering to his audience. It's despicable. He's just trying to get $1. And this from one of the leaders of a party that claims they are for the people. I just keep finding it more and more difficult to believe the party. The newest thing in the news is something about a second impeachment. Boy, if that happens, I will just completely be done with the party and just never, ever, ever believe or trust anything they say again. That wraps it up. Let me know what you guys think. Are women better leaders? Or is he just pandering? And does it depend more on the individual and not the sex? of the individual. You guys let me know. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.